Hi, my name is Sarah Johnson. I'm a junior majoring in electrical and computer engineering. It is my pleasure to welcome Laurie Cantileno, the Customer Success Director of Cisco Systems. As a strategic technology leader, Laurie has been instrumental in driving partnerships and developing customer-focused organizations. She is a New York Tech alumna and continues to provide guidance and mentoring to young women and men. Laurie, welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to speak to you all.
What is something that you wish that you knew at the start of your career as we jump in today?
I'd have to say, if I was really focusing on if there was one thing that I would give as a piece of advice, if you will, the one thing that I would look back and say to my younger self was find mentors, all kinds. Younger mentors for reverse mentoring, older mentors, people within your field, people outside of your field. There isn't one person that knows everything. And there isn't one person that has all the experiences in life, right? So find several mentors and don't be afraid to ask.
Now, as a New York Tech alum, you also inspire students as well with your STEM Rising Star Scholarship, which is for exponential junior level female scholars who are financially in need and pursuing a career in sciences. Why do you think that, you also talked about mentors earlier, why do you think that mentors are important for college graduates in their career?
So with the STEM Rising Star Scholarship, what I really want to do is give back in an area that I thought was necessary to help young, diverse women move their career along in technology. Because what we've noticed at my company is that there aren't enough young women and enough young, diverse women in the field. It seemed to have waned off over the years, and we didn't understand why, right? We didn't understand if it was because there were not enough female role models to inspire them, if it was financial, if it was access to things. And so that's a lot of why I do what I do, why I'm here today, why I started the scholarship, why I constantly, in every way I can, give back to the New York Institute of Technology as an alum. And as far as mentors go, I mean, it's super, super important to have mentors because they're going to give you a different way to look at things, a different aspect, a different way to challenge your thinking. The grand plan here is that hopefully when you have these mentors and you develop a relationship over time, right? Because that will happen, that they turn into sponsors and they're going to advocate for you. You want someone who's going to advocate for you. Sponsors are not going to do that without getting to know you first, because they don't, they have to put their reputation on the line.
Especially like now in times of COVID, how is it possible to build like a network, how to stay connected to other people, the strong relationships, especially in remote work, and with it being more common now that remote work is common?
So the funny thing is, that's something that we at Cisco have been doing for many, many years. We started a lot of the technology that people are using today and has morphed into, other people that work for Cisco that went out and developed their own technology. And so we've been professing this for a long time, but that's a cultural thing, right? People are uncomfortable with it. They don't know how to use it. And COVID kind of forced us into a whole new way of life, that in some aspects is great, in some aspects we struggle with, right? How do you develop a network? How do I stay connected to my customers when I'm not there in front of them, right? I think, that's a tough question, and it's more of an art than a science. I would have to say offering of yourself, being available, really caring beyond just being there, making sure you follow up, reaching out, touching base, trying not to use the short electronic ways of communication, like the texting and the IMing and things of that nature, really make a voice connection.
Do you think that the remote connection will continue this way, even when things are back to normal?
That's a super great question, because these are the things that within Cisco we think about. I think the world has seen what is the art of the possible. And I think it will continue. I don't think it's good. None of us in the world, in the tech world, think it's going to continue with this intensity, because people miss human connection. There are a lot of huggers out there that aren't hugging, you know. I think to some extent it's opened people's eyes at what's possible, but it's not going to be with the same intensity. But it will allow people more flexibility. I don't have to live here. I can live there and do my job, you know? And once COVID kind of relaxes and travel relaxes and people feel safer, I think you're going to see a lot of that. I think you're going to see a lot of creativity and innovation. So things are going to change. It's not going to go away. The remote work isn't going to go away, but it's going to morph. In the technology business, that's what we hope for, because we're all about innovation, creativity, flexibility, and integration, right? Integration of work and life. People are getting to know people's children. People are getting to know people's pets. People are getting to know people's surroundings. So, yeah, it's not going to go away.
Do you have any last pieces of advice to either New York Tech students, to females in technology, engineering, or any piece of advice for people entering the workforce now?
I would have to say, again, never give up. Hashtag never give up. That's something I use all the time. Don't let fear stop you. As Mr. Rogers used to say, look for the helpers. There are people out there that want to help. Let them. Develop your personal network through mentorship, through making connections, through keeping relationships, not just starting them, but keeping them, and being sincere about them too, and never let fear get in the way.
Thank you for joining us, Laurie. You are a great resource to the New York Tech community.